and good evening. Tonight we are on the O'Reilly Factor. Please, we gotta get down to business. Tonight is something special. Tonight we will analyze history together. Many of you thought I could just turn to the History Channel for that. But what I am yet to include is that tonight, the main concept of the show is the guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for one of history's most influential minds, Karl Marx! Sir, how you doing?
Great. Please, a lot of lighting in the room to exude the way usually stands.
Alright. He's not here to have fun. Alright, I'm sorry about the lighting. I didn't mean to startle you or anything.
It's alright.
It's just nice to have you here. Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Carl, wow, you are here. How are you? You actually made it.
Fine, how are you?
No, I'm great. Well, let's get down to the main topic at hand. I gotta bring one thing to the table.
Yes, my original work. Piece that the world seemed to find a deep interest in. It's a true honor millions of great men would take heed to advance.
Millions, exactly here. Let's talk. Alright,
Thank you.
Exactly. This is precisely where I would like to start. Let us dive directly into the Communist Manifesto. This is a political theory that formed in your mind. In this day and age, I think we all know of injustice. I agree with you here. Whether it is a worker who makes minimum wage, or even in the worst cases, child labor. I am not here to question you on this. We can stand at the same. What I'm here to state is this. The Communist Manifesto, in theory, holds merit. When the writing stays exactly on the page, we come to see some agreements. However, due to our human nature, such theory is too idealistic. The utopian socialism you seem to preach can only exist in a dream or a movie.
Bill, hold on. Allow me to stop you for a second. I need to stress I launched the manifesto for my fellow man's good. I witnessed workers who lived and breathed under extreme forms of capitalism.
Okay.
Property owners essentially sitting on top of clouds while workers wait to see if there would be rain or, God forbid, sun. These men managing their employees as slaves. If one has the right to make another life financially miserable, and on top of that, they seek just a profit, then what is enough for common folk? I do not want to live in such a world. I never do. Such disproportional class structure cannot continue. This is blasphemy.
Carl, I agree with you. We are all human. Yet you speak so irrational, claiming because we are equal, we can live equally. The human condition begs to differ. Men want to produce as much profit for themselves as possible. We do not work, at any cases, we do not work, advance, or produce for one another as a whole. There is no true incentive. Your theory calls for society volunteers, happy to provide services for one another, for humans to happily complete this. I have no choice but to look at your writing critically. I know your motives, Carl. I understand their weight in what you suggest.
Such a statement is bold, Bill. To state one of the most influential political theories is a joke. To call me a fraud? Who are you? Mr. Bill O'Reilly, an interviewer. Who am I? A known historical figure, whose mind alone is remembered by millions upon millions.
That's true. Initially, I planned to try to converse with you upon the theory of communism and capitalism. I can already see I have no choice. They're too stubborn. Before you begin to defend your theory, I need to present something to you. To make your plea unto how the religion of viewer. Make your plea. The result that occurred once you passed and uprising leaders became brainwashed by you. I must highlight quick points. Listen closely, Carl. In the book, The Red Holocaust, Stephen Rossio states communism's internal contradictions caused more than 60 million to be killed. Okay? Many sources agree 85 to 110 million deaths can be attributed to extreme communism, Carl. Under their own regimes, when you preach, man was murdered and starved to death. According to Jake Semmelweis, communist systems emerging in the 20th century ended up destroying their own populations. Not because they planned to annihilate them as such, but because they aimed to restructure the social body from the top to bottom. You see what I'm saying here? We have no time to go into each situation, Marx and Stalin. we have time tonight to deeply understand how such a theory led to the rise of such leaders. Yet, do we have a moment to imagine? Let your mind take you into the past, what you caused. Picture communism at work, the dead piling up, the children calling for food, the people asking, why? Why is this? Do you still support what you preach?
I'm speechless, Bill. By no means did I intend for anything like this. I could not have foreseen such leadership. I could not have foreseen my theory launching a new, different direction than I envisioned.
I know you were a good man. You did not kill anyone. You did not want the masses to be murdered. Yet, I understood this would bring an interview to an end because the information seems untrue. The numbers, 110 million deaths, seem fictional, but you understand it's true. If you would rather leave the show now that I presented this to you, I will be of no anger. I cannot imagine the burden on your shoulders.
You know, with the facts present to me, I wrote a theory for change, not for this. I must go on. I will defend myself. The manifesto had hope. The manifesto needs real, true human guidance to succeed. I must go on. Millions of listeners are watching. Communism cannot be seen in this light. I will prove my case for any listeners who understand its genius. The hope in the words, the hope is for all.
Enough of that. Let us look at the words. On page 219 it states, the history of all hetero existing society and the history of class struggles, oppressor and the oppressed, stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on uninterrupted. How do you honestly expect such an arousing statement to bring aid to society which you critique? What you're calling for, besides the save the people mentality, is civil war, immediately. You must have realized when the Communist Manifesto was written, there was ultimately no hope. Oh, and did the people listen? Backed by your words, masses held arms and fired, changing their society by murdering the higher class, any class above. Carl, what good was it even to come from the first line, arousing such crowds? I know you understood and encouraged this, but you seemed to think it could end peacefully, and with complete change that forms a new economic structure, one that can provide for all? Were you insane to publicize such rubbish?
Bill, I start my piece so strongly because gathering the masses is the only way to bring change.
It's true.
You gain listeners by being loud and obnoxious as I gain readers in sharp minds with a fierce opening. As I'll explain, I call not for war. I call for the proletariat class to work together. For everyone, the oppressor to be to the oppressed. Recognize the serious issue of human inequality. Then and only can class structure begin to open their